Hello students, welcome back. This is class 10th, subject English, poem 2, Fire and Ice, and this is written by Robert Frost. And this is my lecture number 1. Robert Frost has written Fire and Ice as well as Dust of Snow. In my previous lecture, in lecture number 1 of poem 1, Dust of Snow, I have already told you the introduction of Robert Frost. So today we are going to discuss these topics. Topics to be covered: introduction of the poem, then explanation of stanzas of the poem, and then homework solution of lecture 2 of poem 1, Dust of Snow. Fire and Ice. This poem is written by Robert Frost. Robert Frost's poem Fire and Ice expresses the profound idea that the world would end in either of two ways, either by ice or fire. Both the components are compared with self-destructing human emotions. These are hatred and desire. Means the poet says that there are different views of people about the destruction of the world. Some say that this world will end in fire. Fire means desire. And some say the world will end in hatred, means ice. Putting in terms of human emotions, the element of fire stands for passions and desires. Unbridled passions means uncontrolled passions and desires can cause the end of the world. Means we must have control on our desires. Hatred and desires amongst human beings can be the cause of their destruction. So it is a universal truth that nothing is permanent in this world. On the other hand, some people think that the world will end in fire, while on the other hand, some people think that the world will end in ice. The poet equates the fire with desire and ice with hate. As the ice destroys the world, melting slowly, in the same way, hatred will also destroy the world. Because greed, hatred, strife, intolerance, cold-heartedness, etc., these bring much destruction to the society. So human beings should live peacefully. This is a message given by the poet. Now, explanation of the stanzas. This poem is a short poem written by Robert Frost and it has total 9 lines. So in this poem, the poet refers to two predictions of how the world will end. Some say the world will end in fire, means the poet says that the world would end in two ways, either by ice or by fires. It is the opinion of some people that the world would end in fire. It denotes that fiery desires and passions will lead to the destruction of the world. On the other hand, some people opine that the world would end in ice. Hatred, jealousy, these will lead to the destruction of this world. But the poet favors fire, means the poet thinks that the people, those who say that this world would end in fire, is correct. Because he has also experienced, tasted means experienced of desires. So that's why he favors fire. Then next stanza. But if it had to perish twice, perish means destroyed, end. I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. Suffice means sufficient. So the poet says that if this world has to end twice, then ice would be stronger or more effective in doing this work. Hatred will lead towards the destruction of this world. And to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. Suffice means sufficient. Means ice is sufficient enough to cause the destruction of this world. So the poet says that if this world has to end twice, then he thinks that there is enough hatred to destroy this world, and that is sufficient. That ice is sufficient, hatred is sufficient to destroy this world. So this is the explanation of the stanza. So we read that according to the poet, fire stands for desire, greed and lust, and the more you try to satisfy them, the more they grow. So there is no end to it. They spread rapidly like fire and engulf your whole life. And on the other hand, ice, according to the poet, stands for hatred, coldness and rigidity. One becomes insensitive and indifferent towards the feeling of others. So the poet says that both fire and ice are growing with such a rapid pace that the world would soon perish either way, either in fire or in ice. Now let us discuss the literary devices which are used in this poem. First, rhyming scheme. As I have already told you, there are 9 lines and rhyming scheme is given A, B, A in first 3 lines, then in next 3 lines A, B, C, then last 3 lines B, C, B. Second is assonance. It is repetition of vowel sounds in same line. The repetition is at different places in different words. Example, the long sound of O in I hold with those who favor fire. Then next is alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of a consonant sound at the start of 2 or more closely placed words. Example is the sound of F in favor fire, W in world will. Then imagery. Imagery is used to make readers perceive things involving their 5 senses. Example, some say the world will end in fire. So, in imagery, we learn that it is actually used to create visual representation of actions, objects and ideas in our mind in such a way that they appeal to our physical senses. Next is anaphora. This is the repetition of a word or expression at the start of 2 or more consecutive lines. So example is some say. This is repeated at the start of line 1 and 2. Next is personification. It is very important literary device. Personification is to give human qualities to inanimate objects or non-living objects. In this poem, fire and ice, they are capable of destruction. Thus, the poet personifies fire and ice by giving them mind and power to destroy anything. Next is enjambment. It is defined as the thought or clause that doesn't come to an end at a line break. Rather, it moves over to the next line. For example, from what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. Means one line continues to another without any pause or any punctuation mark. So these are all the literary devices which are used in this poem. Now let us move to homework part. So you are supposed to answer the following questions. There are many ideas about how the world will end. that today we have read? Do you think the world will end someday? Have you ever thought what would happen if the sun got so hot that it burst or grew colder and colder? Question number 2. Write the sum and substance of the poem Fire and Ice, the essence of the poem. Then next is, but if it had to perish twice, how will the world perish twice? Question number 4. Read the extract and answer the following questions. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. So question number 1. What does it refers to in the first line? Then next, what do you mean by perish? Then next, what does ice stand for? Then next, what would be the cause of destruction? Now, let us discuss the homework solution of lecture 2, poem number 1, Dust of Snow, written by Robert Frost. This is class 10th, subject English. So let us move to the question answers. First question, why does the poet say that he had saved some part of the day he had rued? So the key points are, the poet was sad and listless, and he thought that the entire day would go waste because he was depressed. Then the falling of dust or snow on him changed his mood completely. A little incident brought a ray of hope in him. Earlier he was depressed, he was tensed, he was unhappy, but due to the falling of dust of snow, his mood got changed and he saved rest of the day. He had already wasted half of the day in regret, but half of the day was saved by him just because of this insignificant incident. That incident was falling of dust of snow on him. Next question is, where was the poet and what happened to him? So there was snow everywhere. The poet was under a hemlock tree. He was sitting under a hemlock tree, that is a poisonous tree with white flowers. The tree was completely covered with snow. A crow shook the tree and dust of snow fell on the poet and it changed his mood. Earlier he was in unhappy mood, he was depressed, but now his sadness changed into happiness. The next question was, what is the central idea of the poem Dust of Snow? So the key points are, this poem depicts how a simple selfless action can bring joy in someone's life. A small positive incident can change the negative thoughts of the person and inspire him to live happily. The crow shakes off the snow dust from the hemlock tree and the poet's day is saved from being wasted. So the message that the poet wants to convey through this poem, Dust of Snow, is that sadness, hopelessness and disappointment do come into the life of mankind. It makes them feel dejected and depressed. But there is always happiness behind sadness. It makes them feel dejected, but positivity or positive incident can bring change in our life. If sadness comes, happiness is bound to come in our life. As the poet was sad and low in spirits in the morning, but the falling of dust of snow on him brought a sudden change in his mood. So we also should not get disheartened in any circumstance. We always hope for the best and we should not lose our hope, because after night there is always a bright day. So, dear students, you all are supposed to write these question answers in your English Fair notebook. Thank you.